say, can you tell me I'm not insane? Sometimes I get this feeling about the law I'm dealing. Am I letting my reason wane? Have I been forsaken on this path I've taken? Check my head, I guess the joke's on me. Oh, I'm not laughing at the irony. Oh no. So riddle me this now and riddle me that. Does anyone really know the mind of the bat? So riddle me this now and riddle me that. Does anyone really know the mind of the bat? Wherever you're going, whatever you do, I'm out in the dark, keeping watch over you. So poison the ivy with your crocodile tears. We're climbing the vines to the heart of your fears. Can you tell me, has something changed? The rewards are zero, cause I ain't no hero. Do you know it when you go strange? Is your taunting true? Am I as crazy as you? Check my head, I guess the joke's on me. Oh, I'm not laughing at the irony. Oh no. Look to the sky at night. I scan the highest heights. Look to the sky at night. I scan the highest heights. So riddle me this now and riddle me that. Does anyone really know the mind of the bat? So riddle me this now and riddle me that. Does anyone really know the mind of the bat? Check my head, I guess the joke's on me. Oh, I'm not laughing at the irony. Oh no. Check my head, the sky at night. On me, I scan the highest heights. I'm look to the sky at night. On me, I scan the highest heights. So riddle me this now and riddle me that. Does anyone really know the mind of the bat? So riddle me this now and riddle me that. Does anyone really know the mind of the bat?
Sorry, I'm a little bit later than usual tonight because I had Windows and GeForce updates both on the same day. So that's fun. Let's get the game up. Should take a second before we... There we go. Should be able to see it now. Let's just make sure I can still see the chat and everything. I might actually have to pop over to this side. There we go. Hi, Slime Harbour. I hadn't even started yet. I thought it was a chat message from like this morning or something because it says 9:55. It looks like a in the morning. I was like, oh, was there a message left while I wasn't live? But no, you just made it in before the starting screen was gone. I've been having this issue for the past, I don't know, 2 years. When you update Windows, sometimes, I think it's something to do with how my motherboard's configured. When it restarts, it doesn't turn off. It just hangs there. And it's actually once caused me an issue where I had to, get somebody to look at my computer because I don't have an optical drive and I had no way to restore Windows, so I had to do like a fresh format and a fresh install. And I didn't have a flash, a recovery disk, or anything, so I'm quite skeptical when Windows asks me to update. I tend to try and ignore it. I've got glowstone in my hotbar, which means I was trying to do something with glowstone, but I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, I know what it was. We had a... Oh. A little bit of jerkiness there. I think it was for this ice path that I started making here to the portal. I think I wanted to put some glowstone in it to stop mobs from spawning on it, but I don't have enough ice. That's another project that we should probably finish. Actually, the project we want to do will have to happen after this, so maybe we should do that now as well. I just want some regular ice, not the packed ice. The packed ice is fine for the ground, but I think I need this kind of ice for the sides. And I don't think it spawns on any of this. I think it's all in the water. It's just gonna be annoying. I don't really want to have to. I don't want to clear all this out to get the ice. I want to kind of level some of the icebergs rather, but this packed ice is solid. You can't see through it. I'd prefer to use the clear ice because then you can actually see. This is also packed ice. This is clear ice, but I also don't want to clear this out. Maybe we can get rid of this. Actually, I want to take from this side. Actually, probably thinking about it, the best thing would be to take from over here, because this is regular ice, I believe. Let's see. Yes, regular ice. Is the sun about to set? That's bad timing. Let's clear a bunch of this out. Sorry, I had a bit of a rough day, so I decided to play some heavier music with lyrics and stuff, so I don't have to talk so much. But free to ask me questions and stuff, and I can change the station if I need to. I'm never really sure with this. This is the rock station, but it can vary quite a bit, so if you find the music a little bit too heavy, let me know and I'll change it to something more chill. Actually, if there's a lot of songs like this in it, I might actually do it anyway. We haven't done too many, Nitro. Welcome, by the way. We started doing some building in the nether. Not really too much building, just starting to set up nether portals. I think the last advancement I probably got was when you were watching, when we were going to go to the woodland mansion but didn't have enough rockets to do it. I didn't stream Minecraft yesterday, and I didn't stream on Saturday and Sunday, so this is the first Minecraft stream in 3 days, so it's quite possible you didn't miss anything. Where's the bed now? We might have gotten one advancement that was not a big deal. Is it not night? It looked like night. Yeah, I haven't. I watched an hour or two of his stream today, and I watched him try to do it in 1 or 2 previous streams as well. It doesn't seem to be going very smooth for him, but I mean that's that bringing the Ghast over thing, it's really a factor of how much preparation you put into it. Oh. Sorry, I got distracted there. A colleague is assigning me work at the moment. Yeah, I mean, so there's the brute force approach, which is like make a big portal, wait for it to spawn, and then just somehow get it through, which is kind of how he started. I thought it was nighttime. What? Oh, it's not even. It's noon. He kind of started like that, and he's starting to see that it doesn't work so well. So he's trying to like change his approach slightly. What I think I will probably do is, rather than try and rely on luck, I'm probably going to try and set it up so that the chances of it working is a little bit higher right from the get-go. So actually, let me just change this. I need something a little bit more. Let's do happy. That music was getting a little bit difficult to talk over. So I think the easy approach I might take is make two large portals close enough to each other that they kind of go to the same place, and then you make a large open space between them, so that if a Ghast spawns in there, the only way for them to leave is to go through one of the portals, right? Because they tend to like move away from you, and so if you're approaching them from the one side and they back away, they should back into the one portal, and if you approach from the other side, they should back away into the other portal. I think they don't need to be the same size for it to work, but the Ghasts do suffocate. So if you make the portal too small, or you put it somewhere where there isn't enough space for the Ghast, so you need like a 5x5x4, something like that, then they will start suffocating when you go to the overworld. Now, I don't know if them suffocating will count for the advancement, right? Because they die in the overworld, but I think you have to kill them. So I don't think if they die like that, you're going to get the advancement. So you want them to live long enough for you to come and kill them. Let's get rid of that one. Shame, I'm global warming now, ruining this polar bear's habitat. Let's see if we got. It looks like this is in a biome where these all refreeze, which is great because we can take these and then come back in it a little bit to get more. Yeah, so you'll definitely want to have the portal be like, maybe a 7x7 frame in the overworld, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be too big. It just needs to be big enough that it doesn't suffocate. And then you also, obviously, it doesn't really matter how you kill them. I think the advancement just requires you to kill them. So, sword or bow or whatever. But the real trick is just getting them to go through the portal. What I've seen some people do is use the minecart and rail thing, because the Ghast hitbox is so big that even when he's in a minecart, like, he takes up a lot of space. I don't think he can go. I think if you put the rail right up to the edge of the portal, obviously not on the frame, you don't want him to go into the frame, and then you stop the minecart. So if the minecart is here and the Ghast is in it, his hitbox will go all the way to, like, I think 2 blocks away. So if this is the portal and you push a minecart to here, and this is a powered rail that's unpowered, the minecart will stop, and I think he'll go through the portal with the minecart. So that's great, because then he'll come out on the other side, he'll be stuck in a minecart, he won't be flying around. Makes it easy for you to kill him without him destroying everything that's around there. Let me just sleep here before bad things happen. And so obviously if you have portals on either side, and you can have a minecart circling in that area. As soon as one spawns in there, the minecart's going to hit him and he's going to get stuck in the minecart. So that's what I was thinking, but now the issue with having a tunnel with 2 portals on either end and a minecart in it is that you have to be careful that the rail doesn't stop the ghast from spawning there, because they need the 4x4 area to spawn. So if you have like a, I don't know, like a 7x7 and you put a rail in the middle that cycles, it won't leave 4x4 on either of the 2 sides, and then no ghast will spawn in there. But if you do a 4x4 and then 2 rails, so it goes back and forth, and then a 4 wide, so you'll need 10 wide total tunnel, the ghast can spawn on the sides and then fly around and then obviously hit the rail. But what I'll probably do before I build that rail is just give it a 10x10 wide with portals on either side, and just because that'll increase the odds of them spawning there, because if they try to spawn right next to the rail and the rail is there, it'll actually stop it, I think. Or if they try and spawn in the rail, the spawning mechanics will stop it from happening. And you want to increase the odds that they spawn in there. And obviously what you also want to do is, once you have that set up, rather than waiting for ghast and then killing them when they spawn elsewhere, you should take buttons or something and put them every like 3 blocks outside that area to stop ghast from spawning. Or you can use slabs or whatever you want, but I guess slabs are the most stone efficient, because it takes half a cobblestone and a button takes a whole stone. So I don't know if I can, if these regenerate, then this will be a good place to grab it. I don't really like to make it straight because it looks unnatural, but I want the water to fill back up. And it looks like it's going to refreeze anyway, so... I think this will probably be enough. Oh, I remember I tested... Oh no, now I remember why I didn't use the glowstone, because I tested it and the glowstone actually melts it. I remember testing this. And then I remembered that I needed sea lanterns to make the ice not melt, and I don't have a source of sea lanterns yet. That's why I didn't finish this project. Now I remember. So I guess I could use packed ice, because packed ice shouldn't melt. So we should see that ice melt now. This ice melts, but this doesn't. Yep, that's exactly what I thought. And it goes 2 blocks away, so if I want to put... I'll have to make this portal bigger. Okay, let's test this out. I'm not going to make the portal bigger right away. Let's just first test it. So what we want to see is if I make the portal bigger and I make the path a 3 wide, then we should have... we need packed ice for this. ahead how long some of these blocks take to float. Okay. So let's make it 3 wide and then we test. Actually, we need it to be 5 wide so that we can test properly, because if we don't want the floor to melt, we need 2 on either side, so we would have this as well. That's the middle, so let's do it like that. And this isn't really linked to an advancement at all, this is just me preparing for things for the future. Which I think is part of this, of the recipe for success, is if you're just chasing advancement all the time, then you tend to get into a situation where you're underprepared or you make a mistake. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. Oops, let's put it there. So what we want to see is, oh, okay, the walls are definitely melting. So, okay. So if we do another one, I want to see how wide I have to make it before it stops doing that, because if I can get it wide enough, then I might just go with that design. So that one we don't want to melt. These might, but that's fine. So it looks like two away, 3 away if it's straight, because these don't seem to be melting. So that's going to end up being quite a wide passage, but it will work and we can have it ice and we should be able to I guess the trick here is, let's see if we use ice now for the walls, if they're going to stay. This is going to be considerably more ice than I was planning to use, because this is all packed ice. But luckily the packed ice is actually easier to get, because that's just everywhere here, we can just grab it. Yeah, so I started off, I had a portal just on the other side of my house there, which is where I've been going to and from. But I wanted to make a portal in the nether at 0, 0, just so that it's easier. And I thought it would link up to this, I thought it would be close enough. Because, you know, the distance between 0, 0 and where spawn is shouldn't be too far. But it actually ended up being quite far away, and it put the portal here. So rather than make my portal where it is in the nether, I'm going to keep it at 0, 0, because then I can't get lost in the nether. So this will be my portal. It's not that far away from my base that it's a problem. And I actually like the portal being further away, so I don't hear it all the time. And the main objection to not having it this far away is if it's nighttime or whatever and I need to go to the nether, it might not be safe to come out here. But I think if we wall this in, blocking line of sight, I think it won't matter anyway. I think it'll be safe enough. My only concern is if it's this wide, it's going to look a little bit funny, being only as tall as it is. So we might have to make the portal taller as well to make it look a little bit more normal with this width. And then once we do that, then it becomes a whole resource intensive project. But let's use what we have. Oh, I didn't put... Okay, I'm going to leave this here for now until I fill this in. So we're going to need... I'm going to fill packed ice in. Now the packed ice won't regenerate like the regular ice, but we can always make packed ice if we need extra. Although that might be time consuming. So hopefully we get enough here. And for now I'm just going to put that there because I'm going to use that a couple of times, I think. Is that nighttime yet? Yes. Also, having the portal at 0, has another benefit. For one of the advancements where we have to go, what's it, 7 kilometers or whatever, we have to go 850 blocks. When your portal is at 0, it's really easy to know how far you have to go, because you just look at the coordinates. But of course that one isn't hard to do, because you just go much further than you need to, and then you're safe. Sometimes insta break feels too fast. Especially considering the Minecraft server process sometimes struggles with instantly breaking things. Doesn't register it all the time. So you get the ghost blocks from. It's basically the mismatch between the client and the server, where the client thinks the block is broken and the server hasn't registered it. So definitely having efficiency 5 on your tools definitely creates more ghost blocks. I'll probably end up making a farm. I've seen people not have great success with just hunting for it. But I thought I'd at least give it a chance, because I have to do some exploring anyway. So whenever I have gone exploring a little bit, and when I did and I was out at night, whenever I see drowned, I would attack them. But I've only encountered one drowned with a trident, and he didn't drop it, so if we don't get one by a certain time, then we'll make a farm. I did do a little scout to try and find a good spot to make a farm, because we need a river biome. I found a spot. Where was it? I'm struggling to remember where it was, but there was a spot where there was a big river area that's like almost square. So if I have to make one, I'll probably make it there. That's annoying. But it's a little bit tricky, because I've noticed with the generation in recent versions of Minecraft, you get at the edges of certain biomes, you get a portion of the biome it's underwater, so like the ground is below the water level, but it's not classified as a river biome. It's just whatever the biome is, so savanna or plains or whatever, but it's just that there's the ground level is below the water, so it looks like a massive river, but it's actually not. It's just half of the river is river biome, and the other half is the other biome that's next to it. So in this case it's doing that, but that area is so big that even if half of it is river, it's still a pretty big river. Is this regular ice? I want to use the regular ice. There. Actually, I'm just going to take all the blocks. These will refreeze. Oh, there was the ghost block. Oh, it's blue packed ice as well. I don't need to go that fast. Oh, that's not going to freeze over. There's no water in there. another ghost block somewhere here. Get it now? I think so. See, how's there a ghost block? I just placed a block there. I think I made a new ghost block when I... See, I'm placing a block. Is it? Oh, it's there. That's weird. So long as there's a source block, I think it should refreeze. So I don't think I have to place ice everywhere. Okay, so now packed ice is what we want. So we're going to extend it to here. I slept, so he spawned there because it's dark enough there in the daytime. That is problematic. But this should all be packed ice, so shouldn't be a problem if we just pop some glowstone in here for now at least. There we go. The last thing I want is for a creep or something to come from here, sneak up on me. Probably won't have enough yet, but I just want to see how much we have. Okay, so that's actually something that we have to do fairly soon, because when we get a storm, we want to have the trident and we want to have a villager ready. Oops. But right now it's not that useful because I don't have the books yet. To enchant it, so I need to get loyalty 3 and channeling from AFK fishing. I guess if I get the trident I can just enchant it normally. There aren't that many enchants that a trident can have, so the odds of getting the enchants that you need is fairly high. So I could just enchant, disenchant. I'll have levels to do it, but I have loyalty 3 already, so I just need a channeling book. So I haven't been doing a lot of AFK fishing because I usually do it to repair my armor and my tools, and my tools haven't really needed repairing from what I've been doing. Mostly I've been flying around, which needed gunpowder, which I need to use the mob farm for. And so the few times that I have used it, I've repaired my armor and tools a little bit from that, and so I've needed to AFK fish even less. But I might have to do a session, you know, maybe tomorrow or something, where I'm just AFK fishing to try and get some of those books, because once I have the books, then I need the trident, and then I either need to explore for it or I need to build the farm. The main reason why I haven't done a long AFK fishing session is I literally only have one chest in my AFK fish farm, and so what I tend to do is I don't really AFK fish farm. I sit by the computer and do it, so that I can keep an eye on the chest and empty it when it gets full. And obviously that doesn't allow you to do it for too long, like maybe an hour or so, and that's a little bit tricky for me to do because I'm usually working when I need to do that, so I can't really. I can sit here and do it, but I can't like sit here the whole day and do it. So I usually just do it until, like, if I'm waiting for something to happen at work, you know, I might, while I'm waiting for something, sit and fish for like 10-15 minutes. But then afterwards I have to, you know, kind of stop. So if I remember correctly, let me actually just place all of these now. Oh, it's kelp. Kelp is the enemy. Oh, my bed's over there. I have to get back to it before it gets dark, so... Yeah, I mean, my main objection to... what I was initially thinking is I'll just build a drowned farm, right? Because it would be nice to have a source of gold, and obviously having the drowned farm also gives you the... it also gives you the trident. But I actually want to make a proper gold farm in the nether. And so all that the drowned farm will give me is the trident. So if I can just get... And I mean, I don't need a specific trident. Like, any trident will do. I can just enchant it to be the way I want. It seems like a lot of work to build the drowned farm just for a trident. Now, I kind of say that semi-jokingly, because trying to get a trident without a drowned farm can be just as tedious. So you kind of have to take that strategy with a pinch of salt. And I probably will end up doing it even if it's just to get the one trident. It honestly is enough of an issue that it might be worth it. The real problem is finding the balance, because you don't want to spend too much time building it, so you don't want to make the farm too big, but then if you make it too small, you're going to wait forever anyway. So I'll probably end up making a smallish drowned farm, and just kind of relying on looting 3 to win over. What most people do is they do the lazy one. Yeah, so I mean, you would think in 2 hours or 3 hours that you would, but it would probably take me 2 to 3 hours to make it. Right? I've never made one before, so I have to figure it out. And then also you get the different ones. Most people make the I'll call it the lazy one, where it just has flowing water and the drowns spawn and just come down, but you have to go and find them and kill them. A more efficient way to do it would be to build the farm in such a way that it will send all the drowned towards one spot, so that you can just kill them all there. And that'll probably make the process of getting the trident quicker, but it'll make the process of building the farm take longer. So again, a trade-off. Yeah, so that's the thing with exploring, right? If you find the ruins, you tend to see quite a few of them. I don't know if it keeps doing that though. So like when you find the ruin, it'll usually do, because it's spawning them, and because it's so open in the ocean. I think that what happens is the pack spawning mechanics basically always trigger, and that's why you always see 3 or 4 of them spawn together. But I don't know if that continues. So if it's just plain pack spawning mechanics, then it should, in theory, continue, so long as there's an issue with the mob cap or anything like that. And so then you might be able to just find a place with a ruin, or maybe even with 2, and just hang around there at night. and just kill drowns until you get one with a... Yeah, that's I've also seen that as a strategy, is you go with smite 5 on an axe, and then you put looting 3 on your sword, and then you just run around with your axe, and as soon as you see one with a trident, you switch to your sword. Or you can even, if you're not too worried, because the trident guys hit kind of hard, but if you're not too worried about the damage that they do, you can do this. You put your sword in your offhand, and then you run around with your smite 5 axe, right? And if you kill them like this, you still get looting 3 applied. I'm not 100% sure if that works, but it should, if it works the same as with the bow. Then you can still one-shot and get looting. You sacrifice the shield though, right? Because with the tridents, you actually want to have the shield up. Because especially if your armor isn't that good, the trident can really hurt. But I think if you've gotten full diamond gear, because I mean you won't have your elytra on when you're swimming around, that would make sense. Oh, this is going to be a problem. What I need to do is this. Oop. I haven't got that back. Yeah, so I mean, with full diamond gear, you'll probably be safe. I mean, part of the problem is that the guys with tridents don't spawn often, right? So shouldn't be too much of a problem. Especially not on regular hardcore, because I mean, so long as you're eating, you really shouldn't have a problem. So I'll probably just do that. I found a spot where a ruin generated above ground, but I think when they generate above ground, the drowns don't spawn. I think they only spawn underwater, so it's kind of weird that it happens that way. You get the easy loot, but you don't have the benefit of, you know, the drown spawning, because if you're not in water, they don't pathfind to you, right? So if they spawned around, I think it's probably only in daytime. I think at nighttime they'll always pathfind to you, but in daytime they'll only pathfind to you if you're in water. But they don't. The drowns don't die in sunlight like regular zombies do, I don't think. Or maybe I'm just thinking because they're in water, right? Obviously, if they're in water, they won't burn up in the sun, because no mobs do. But I'm thinking for some reason I feel like the drowned, even when they get out of water during the day, they don't burn up because they're wet, right? They're drowned. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like that's true. But I can't recall an actual case that would back up that theory right now. So 3 on this side means these also have to be packed. Yeah, so we'll definitely have to do something about the trident. Oh, I'm out of all that ice. Okay, let's get rid of this because we have a lot of it. This is actually not what I intended to do, but I have to do it at some point, so might as well be now. Yes, yeah, I have everything except, well, I didn't have mending on everything, but now I have almost the perfect armor. I've got fire protection on my helmet instead of protection 4, but I'm fine with that. I've got aqua affinity respiration, I've got feather falling, death strider, I've got everything fully enchanted. The only thing I don't have is sharpness 5 on my sword. I only have sharpness 4, which I had to get by combining a sharpness 3 and 2 sharpness 2s. And I'll tell you, there's a noticeable difference. I probably will definitely want to have sharpness 5 at some point. But most of the things that I need the sword for is kind of done. I mean, I don't have to fight the Ender Dragon again. I've done it twice already. I have to fight the Wither, but I'm gonna cheese it probably, so it doesn't really matter how much damage I do. I just need to do enough damage to let him not die from suffocation. And since looting doesn't matter when I'm fighting the Wither, because I'll only drop one Nether Star anyway, I'll probably put Smite 5 on my axe and then just use that anyway, because on the Wither that works just as good. The only thing that I still have to do where looting is going to make a difference is getting Wither Skulls. And so that you definitely want looting for, and so for that you'll use the sword, and I don't have Smite on my sword, so sharpness 5 will definitely be beneficial there. That's not all of it. Let's... Well, okay, we don't have any more ice to do this, but... let's take this away. I hope I'm not making a ton of ghost blocks now. Did I get all of them? I should have probably actually put one layer down first and then done the rest, but that's fine. Now I'm going to do something slightly uncharacteristic and actually check the light level when I place these. Yeah, so I mean we're basically endgame now. We've got all the best gear, we've got elytras, we've got some shulker boxes. We could have backups of especially the elytra. I have some backup armor and stuff as well. Something that I actually haven't done in quite a while is I haven't gone mining, which I might have to do at some point just to get some iron to build some farms and stuff. I actually considered doing that this stream, but I thought I actually remembered that I wanted to, a while back, get slime for a future project, and I never got around to it, so I thought, let me, while I remember, to do it. So this is 7 here, so there's going to be 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 is 9. Seven. Wait, 9. Oh, sorry, I'm getting confused now. The client light is where you are standing, not where you're looking. So this is 11, 10, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3. So let's put, that's 8 in between, I think. Let's see what that does then. If we put them this far away, it goes down to 10, and it doesn't go below 10. That's fine. I'm happy with that. 1, 2. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's super annoying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops. When you mess it up like that, you lose both. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Counting with X stencil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I never picked these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's get them before they disappear. We do kind of need all the blocks here. We specifically broke this down because we needed the blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exactly. You can even I'll even put that there for consistency. And this is packed ice, so we need, it's 3 on either side, I believe, so let's put this here so that these don't melt. Actually, I think that's what happened to, no, oops. I thought that was on this line. It looks like these melt when they exactly one away. So I guess we could have made it one narrow and just put this one block here, and then we wouldn't have to make another row. Lesson learned. Actually, that might still be beneficial. But it's fine. We already started doing this, so I actually need to. I don't want to aim too low because I want to leave the bottom layer in here. Oh, they sink so deep. Oh well. Should actually give them time to come back up, because if I place this block now, a whole bunch of them is not going to make it up. So let's just be smart about this and do it the right way. Grab all of these last ones. Oh, I don't actually want to. Don't want to have the glowstone in my hand, because I'm going to end up placing a whole bunch of glowstone. Okay, and we'll actually need to get rid of some of this, but I think we can leave the solid wall here because it won't really be a view anyway if we put the regular ice in. time again. Close to it. I think this is going to go faster actually. I think this should be all the packed ice that we need. So we should be able to move on to the regular ice. But I think we might have to grab some more. Let's just check it. I don't think we've placed blocks under all of this. Those are the regular ice. Okay, since we have regular ice, let's place these 3 apart. Should be fine. This is mainly to block line of sight from ground, so they don't constantly come jumping up at us from outside the water. And there's a gap here, but we can still work around it for now. Place the blocks we have. It's getting dark again. Keep an eye on the time because I want to still, if I can, try to go to a swamp to try and get some slimes. Just to mix it up so we don't spend a whole episode just placing ice. Funny that he actually slides in bed if you walk towards a bed on ice. Yeah, I think I need I want to make one of those like nether gold farms, and I'll probably won't do it all in one episode. I'll spend a couple of episodes working on it. But the reason why I need the slime to start off with is just for breaking through the bedrock. So I want to go through the regular quick cheaty way, but I want to break the bedrock so I can go in and out without having to do that every time. And you need a couple of I can't remember exactly what you need. I haven't done it in a long time, but I definitely need some sticky pistons to break through the at least one block to be able to make an entrance and an exit. You don't really need slimes for the farm itself. Mostly you just need a whole bunch of iron, which is another thing we don't have. The regular building blocks is easy. You can just use stone or whatever for that. But you need a bunch of iron for... I still have to check if the farm design that I have in mind still works. It's the entity cramming one that uses the anvils to stop them from bunching up. So you need a whole bunch of, I think, mine carts and anvils to get that done. So it should work. Like, they haven't changed anything related to that since 1.13, I don't think. I think there's a simplification that you can make now. I think because they go after turtle eggs, you don't have to set it up so that they see you and go for you in the middle. But I think it's still better to do it that way, because if they aggroed on you, I believe it counts as, for some reason, it counts as a player kill, and so then they drop the gold and stuff, and that's what you want. Well, actually, I think they drop gold anyway, but that way they drop experience. Sorry, that's what the thing is. If they aggro towards you and they die, then they drop experience as if you killed them, and so it's a very good XP farm. It's probably as good as Ender without the noise, and well, I mean, they have their own noise, so it's not without noise, but the Enderman noise is, I find, far worse than the pigman grunting. That's probably my main drawback with the Enders. Just on stream, that sound overpowers everything. So I'm not a huge fan of it, even though the experience gains that it gives is pretty good. I don't really have that much need for the experience at the moment, though. But it will be nice to use that for, like, repairing all my gear in like a minute, rather than AFK fishing or whatever. I think it's just a convenience thing. Yeah, I have seen them work before, but I've always found it much easier to build in survival without hardcore, because you're building it high up. There's bedrock below you. You can't place water to break your fall. There's a couple of things that can go wrong there that normally wouldn't end your game. It would just be annoying. Like, you'd have to go back there. You maybe won't take all your best gear because you don't want to lose it, that kind of thing. But in hardcore, you have to be extra careful. So one of the things I want to do is, before I start building it, I obviously need the slimes to make the passageway, to open it up. But I also want to get bamboo so I can make scaffolding, because even though scaffolding is kind of slow, it's by far the safest way to get up and down. Like, even ladders have some issues. Like, sometimes you let go of shift, or you walk a little bit away from the ladder, and then you fall off and hit something. I don't really want to risk that, so I think scaffolding is the way to go. Now, I don't think I found a jungle, but it didn't have bamboo in it. So that's another thing I have to do, is find a jungle to get bamboo. But I mean, I have to find a jungle anyway for one of the advancements. So what I might do is just do that at the same time. I need to start making a... Oh, is it? Let me sort out these guys, and then I'll have a look. They're not going to pathfind? Okay. Sorry, I'm just pausing it in case. getting 0% dropped frames, and I'm getting my 3000 kilobit bitrate target without any heavy CPU usage. So it might just be an internet thing. I'll give it a second to stabilize. Is audio fine, or is it just video that's lagging, or is it both? What happened to the drown? Oh, they go down. That's clever. So they could actually have been drowned down here the whole time. They only come up when you get in the water. That's kind of cute. I'll pop out the performance metrics so I can keep an eye on it. If I see it start dropping frames or something, then I'll know. But right now it's not complaining. It's time 11 o'clock, so we still have an hour. I think I'll finish this off and then we can maybe start an expedition. Yeah, I think it must have been the Twitch client side. Because normally what happens is I either get my internet connection like kind of drops out for a bit, which I've had plenty of, or otherwise you get dropped frames, and then I don't really know what causes that, but usually like stopping and restarting the stream tends to also fix that. But when I don't have a problem on my side, the best thing to do is usually to refresh it, because I've noticed that streams do eventually kind of start to bog down. And I've also noticed that the Twitch client crashes once in a while for me. So this isn't the right one, but I'm just going to use it to fill it up. Okay, so that's not exactly right, but that's fine. I'm not going to go and do the, what's this, netherrack from the nether. I'm going to pack all this stuff away. And I want to see if I just want to get enough to make like maybe 2 or 3 slime blocks and have like 10 or so slime balls in case I need to make pistons and things. Now that might actually be quite a lot, so we might not get that much, but we already have all the netherrack here. Okay, so let's put some of this stuff away. Where did I put kelp here as well? Phantom membranes, I think I put them in the crafting chest here. That's still from when we were killing phantoms. Some of this will have to go in here, I think. We'll have to put the netherrack here. The ladders we don't need right now. We have spaces for all of this stuff, for that, this and that. That's going to go back in the ender chest. We don't need the flint and steel right now, but I'm going to put it in the ender chest as well, because we use it for portals. The ice we can probably put in here because we'll use that at some point again. And that should sort us out for now. So let's put this stuff away, and then we can sleep, and then we can head out to... Actually, maybe we shouldn't sleep, because we've been sleeping, so the phantoms are reset at the moment, which means if we end up getting where we're going and it ends up being nighttime, let me just get some torches in case I need it. Well, let me see if I have some. If I already have some, that might be easier. Nope, and no sticks. There should be sticks somewhere. Okay, let's grab some coal, make some torches. Don't think I'll really need it, but our pickaxe is a little bit low. Ooh, no, we don't want to go there at night. We want to go there and have it be night. So let's sleep and then we head out. There's a fairly big swamp nearby, so my hope is that we head that way. Takes us about the daytime to get there, and then when we get there it should be nighttime. And our shield isn't in great shape, but I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. At nighttime we will have other things spawning, which means we might need our shield. What I tried to do in my last world to get slimes is look for a slime chunk. But because I set myself the requirement of not knowing the seed and not using any tools to look for things, I didn't want to look up which chunks are slime chunks, so I ended up mining out like 9 chunks and not getting a slime chunk. And that got pretty boring because mining out whole chunks on stream is kind of tedious. Usually it's not, so normally if you're running any kind of mod pack, the debug menu, which you can't see now, will sometimes have an item on the right where it'll highlight the chunk as a slime chunk if you're in one. And then it's not so bad, right? Because then you can just dig straight through the chunk until you find one that says slime chunk, and then you dig that one out. But if you're not doing that, then digging into a chunk doesn't let you know if it's a slime chunk or not, because you have to wait for something to spawn there. There needs to be enough space, so you basically want it to be open to see if it is. Luckily you don't have to do like a wait for nighttime kind of thing, because they spawn even with the light level, so you can just mine it open and light it up, and then if it's an area that you go past every once in a while, you should eventually notice a slime there. And then the problem if it's completely open is that where did that slime spawn, right? He might have spawned somewhere else and just moved into that chunk, so it's quite hard to know for sure that that chunk is the slime chunk. Once you have the chunk that you think is a slime chunk, you have to build fences or something to block it in, and then make sure that when you come back that there are actual slimes inside that area, and then you know it's a slime chunk. So it's kind of tedious. Ow. I don't appreciate that. Nothing of interest. Let's make sure we have. I'm pretty sure I've already killed a witch from the mob farm, so I don't think that was one of the outstanding ones that we needed. But now we're basically just waiting for nighttime. Isn't really that much to do while we wait for this. We just need nighttime basically. Now I don't know if it's noon, so about halfway through. You can actually see swamp carries on that way. Yeah, my single player world also had a slime chunk quite near. I made my base down all the way to, like, not quite bedrock, but fairly low. And then I started mining outwards, just like clearing everything. And then I noticed that slimes were spawning there. Because I created like a starter base in one spot. And then I made like a massive tower at like 0, 0. And I mined all the way down to like Y10, and I built all the way up to Y255. So it was just like a massive tower at the 4 chunks at Y0. So it was 4 chunks all the way down, all the way up, and that took forever. And then when I got to the bottom, I was just like kind of mining everything out. And it was a little bit away from my starter base, so what ended up happening is the slime chunk was in between my starter base and that base, so I ended up running past there every once in a while, and I actually got enough slime from that with looting 3 that I never actually made a farm. I would just kill a slime every once in a while and get like half a stack of slime, like every time it happened. And I always had enough slime that I never really needed a proper farm. But then I never built anything big in that world. I'd only played on that for like 2 weeks before starting not quite this series, but the thing I did before this that led me to do this series. Sun is not quite far enough. I don't think the moon only comes out once the sun goes down, I think. It's not realistic in that regard. So I can't really see the phase of the moon here. I don't even know if the slimes spawn in swamps based on the phase of the moon. I'm not exactly sure which phase is the one that they spawn the most at and which one, you know. So we'll just see if we get slimes and have a look at the phase of the moon, and we'll just make a note if we don't get any what it looks like, and if we get a bunch we'll also just look at what it looks like, and hopefully I'll remember for next time. Full moon is the highest spawn rate. And I think, okay, so then what's the opposite of full moon? The new moon is the opposite of full moon. A new moon waxing, full moon waning. I really should know these things. Studied to be an astrophysicist. But in my defense, I never got to the part that was actual astrophysics. I just got to the regular physics. What do you play Bedrock on? Is it like Windows 10 edition or is it on console? I played a little bit on Windows 10 edition back before, oh, Xbox One, back before the update Aquatic. And as somebody who's been playing Java edition like the whole time, I could play a little bit, and I got some of the advancements, but it's definitely didn't feel like something that I'd play rather than the Java edition. But I can totally see, oh, that's a nice cave right there. I can totally see how for some people that would be what they would prefer, because, you know, I've played a lot of modded and everything, so I kind of know like all the things that Minecraft can have. So the simpler, you know, quote unquote simpler, I know it's not really, version doesn't appeal to me as much. Yeah, I mean, so that's one thing that consoles definitely have going for them. Like, I'm not one of those guys that are like, you know, PC master race. I wouldn't say I started my gaming career with a PC, because even before I had a PC, we had Famicom or whatever. But I've definitely, for most of my gaming career, I've been playing games on PC, and that's where I'm more comfortable. But definitely, the convenience of just sitting on the couch, switching from watching something on TV to playing a game without like having to relocate and get into a different mindset and everything, is definitely nice. I used to have a PC in my living room with the Steam Big Picture mode on it, and I would like quite often play games there, and I would just play with a controller. But there's definitely some elements that's not convenient on that. A lot of PC games are kind of designed for mouse and keyboard, and playing a game with a mouse and keyboard on a couch is possibly the worst gaming experience you can have. I played games like Civilization and stuff quite a lot, and then doing that from the couch is so annoying. I see slimes there, so hopefully there's no skeletons and I can use the looting trick. I don't actually mind walking up to them with the sword. The reason why I want to do this is because I want to try to not move too much, because I don't want more things to spawn. But if they're all coming to me, that should also work. I think I'm going to be good for slime for a little bit. Oh, I should actually hold my pickaxe and I pick up all this XP. Oh, that's the enchanted ones, right? Boom. Don't want none of your business. There's a lot of them. Is this because it's a swamp? At least they die easily. There's a small slime here and a bigger one over there. Oh, let me get skeleton out of the way. Oh, grass is the thing that's super annoying. So when I'm done here and I check for creepers, I'm going to look at the moon to just get a sense of... Nope. Don't do it. Don't do it. Wants to give me a little struggle cuddle. I'm looking for these bigger open spaces to see, because that's usually where the bigger slime spawn. Because if you get one full-size slime, you end up with so many slime balls. Like, what are we, almost at 2 stacks? But I think they need an area like a ghast to spawn in. So they need like 4x4 flat or something, or at least 3x3. Stop it! Creepers. Trying to move away from that spot so I can go back to it and hopefully some slimes will spawn there. I'm trying to stay to open areas so that you don't have these creepers and things sneaking up on you. Okay, let's see if we got anything there. I've actually gotten to the point where a lot of PC games that I play, even though I play it in my office at a desk, I play with a controller just because it makes more sense to me. So like I play No Man's Sky. I used to play on console back when it came out, and I think some games are just kind of designed for consoles these days, and so when they release on PC, it still makes sense to play with the controller because the whole control scheme for the game is kind of designed for it. Basically, any game that releases on Xbox and PlayStation from day one was made for a console. Like, you can argue as much as you like. If you see how often they use radial menus and how often they design the game to require multiple inputs at the same time, which is just not convenient on an input method like a keyboard and mouse, you realize that the game was actually just designed for a controller where you can easily press 4 or 5 buttons at the same time because you're using, you know, at least 6 fingers. Whereas I find with the keyboard and mouse, while you're also still technically using 6 fingers, you're using, you know, 3 of those fingers usually to do the movement, whereas with a controller, it's 1 finger is doing that movement, so you actually have two more things that you can press comfortably. And you see it in games like Red Dead Redemption or any of these, especially shooters, where you're clearly meant to be moving and aiming all the time, and then they want you to activate abilities and radial menus and stuff to access your inventory and stuff, which, I mean, is not that hard on a controller, but when you have to open up a menu and then switch from your mouse aiming to picking options, as opposed to having like you know, just flicking a thumbstick in a direction, the amount of time that you give up to do that is much less. And I realize some people won't agree and they won't feel that way, and that's fine too. There's definitely a drawback to it as well, right? Especially with shooter games, using a controller. You're kind of relying on the game to at least do a part of the aiming for you, because you're never going to get the accuracy that you will with a mouse. And so for certain games, that's not a valid argument to say, oh, well, the control scheme is more convenient on a controller, so I'm going to use a controller. No, in some games the aim matters a lot more than in others. And I think that's what caused the rise of the current set of RPG shooters. By introducing RPG mechanics into the shooter games, they make the aim matter less because it's not the key thing in the game anymore, and so it makes people tolerate it a little bit more. And I think that's good because it brings the shooter genre to people who otherwise, probably wouldn't play those games. Like I play games like Warframe and Destiny and Red Dead Redemption and some others, which I probably wouldn't normally play because, I don't really play shooters. But the progression and the RPG mechanics makes it kind of bearable for me. Did those slimes despawn? Because I was sure there were 2 of them over here. But I lost them when I was fighting those. On the upside, I think we got enough slime for what we need. We can make at least 3 or 4 blocks and plenty of pistons. But I don't think we'll get any more slime spawns now, so that was a success, and it only took us half an hour. So we need to go east, which should be that way. Oh, that's interesting. Did he spawn here, or did a zombie drown? Because if he spawned here, then this should be a river, right? What's this biome? Swamp? Swamp? No, this is all swamp. Okay, that's quite strange. I only got 30 levels, although I don't think we need to enchant anything else. Actually, we can use our boat here. We don't need to run in the water. It seems open enough. I must keep an eye, although it's daytime now, so we won't get any drowns spawning. But if we see maybe a underwater ruin or something, we can maybe swim to it and see if we see any drowned. It's quite hard to see underwater with all these when you're moving in a boat. There's a drowned. Let's take our boat and see where he came from. Trident! I think there's an advancement for having a trident, so if I pick one up, I'll know immediately. Actually, no, there is an advancement for picking it up. Which way is east? That way. I can actually see better when I come above the surface. It's weird. Got Depth Strider, so might as well swim here, and Respiration 3. And that's the most frustrating thing. If you have Depth Strider and Respiration 3 and then you start a new world, then you constantly run out of air and you swim so slow. It's super frustrating. That's the treasure chest. There should be more. Let's see. Wait. What hit me? I don't know what that was, but let's even go down for more. Yeah, there was obviously something going on with that drowned. I don't know why he was there. Treasure map, paper book. Let's take the chest. I think there might be another one, so let me just check again. I don't know what the structure of these ships are. They seem to vary a little bit, so it's not always in the same spot, but I think I got that one and I got the other one. There might be another chest inside something, but I'm not gonna break it all open. So let's get air and see where it takes us. We don't really have... Oh, this is on our island. If I'm not mistaken. Wait. If it's not on our island, it's much further away. Okay, it's much further away then. I think this is probably... Let's see. The stripes is water. So it's... let's do that. Because we're actually getting... Is that on the north side of this island? Probably. I don't know if I have space to strip jungle log. Yeah, it has to be on the north side of this island, so somewhere here where there's sand. So if that's this island, then it should be like here somewhere. Just demolish everything. Efficiency 5. So close to the edge that I can't actually see. Wait, what? I knew I'd find it eventually. Oh. I have to get rid of this because the heart of the sea is quite valuable. Okay, I'm gonna come back for this because I want to get rid of the chest. But I need some space first. That wasn't too bad. I think we have that's like our third heart of the sea. I don't think we need that many. We'll need like one conduit, I think. But I like to destroy the chest. That's just a tip for when you open a chest with a buried treasure map in it. It finds a chest out in the world, and so if you didn't destroy a chest that you already found, then what can happen is you get a new treasure map, and it takes you to a chest that you already found before. So by destroying the chest, you... Oh, I put this away as well. That as well. That I kept. When you destroy the chest, you remove it from the list of chests that it can send you to. So you should always do that, because then when you find another chest map, it'll take you to a new chest. Some people, I noticed, especially after Update Aquatic came out, people would find the chest, loot all the stuff out of it, and leave the chest there. And then later they'd find another treasure map, follow it all the way, and then they just end up with a chest that they've already been to. No, I think the chests generate. So the chests exist when you open the treasure chest in the ship. The loot tables generate the content at that point, and if one of the items that it drops is a treasure map, then the server first finds a treasure chest that still exists in the world, and then makes a map towards it. So that's why it takes so long when you open the chest for it to open and show things in it. In fact, sometimes you open it, you don't see anything, and you close it and you open it again, and then there's treasure in it. It's just because the server can take a long time to find an available chest, because sometimes those chunks aren't even generated yet, so it has to generate the chunks to find the nearest chest. So it's going kind of like chunk for chunk around that thing to find something nearby, and obviously they'll get further and further if you get rid of all the chests. But at least then it doesn't have to generate the chunks, because you know, the chunks will already be generated. But if there aren't any available chests, then obviously it'll have to start generating further and further. I'm just going to put this in here for now, because it has roughly the same shape and no other reason. And then one of these are jungle. I don't even think I have jungle wood yet. So I think this would be here. We should have enough space now to go back, so let me just get all that stuff. I was going to say before it becomes night, but I guess it already has. So we'll go do that in the daytime. Kind of funny, because there's often chests. There's obviously chests all over, but I mean, you wouldn't normally go and dig up the beach, so you probably wouldn't encounter the chest by just walking around. So a lot of the times you have a chest like right under your base, and you find a treasure map further out, and it tells you to go back to your base, and then there was a chest right underneath your front door or whatever the whole time. Because unless you're doing some major terraforming, you know, you wouldn't really have a need to dig this stuff up. But I think the way it generates is that this chest was here, so if I had dug here before, I think I would have found the chest. That chest didn't appear there when I opened the treasure chest in the sunken ship. At least that's how I understand it. It's a little bit hard to verify, because to know that for sure, you would have to find a chest without a treasure map. But I think I've seen people do that. I can't guarantee and refer you to a stream or a video where I saw it, but I feel like I've seen that happen at some point. But even then, that would be on a multiplayer server, because most of the vanilla Minecraft that I watch has been on multiplayer servers. And then it is entirely possible that some other person opened a treasure map which generated the chest, and then other person found the chest without finding the chest that spawned it first. So that doesn't necessarily prove it. But I'm sure it's probably documented somewhere. Either on the wiki or on one of the patch notes or something. So it's probably not impossible to find out. I'm gonna get rid of that map now because we don't need it. Strip jungle log. I guess I'll also put that in here. I have to find some jungle wood at some point actually. Rotten flesh was in there. I don't really know why rotten flesh ends up in a treasure chest, but I guess I don't really understand why rotten flesh shows up in anything. That paper here, chest, and the books we can put over here. Okay, good to see that they're all still refreshing their trades. Okay, so what do we get? I think I'm not going to do a longer stream today. I'm just going to do a regular 2-hour stream, so we can harvest this while we're here. Should have probably been harvesting it the whole time. Okay, let's grab 2 stacks of both. Now I'm trying to remember which is the potatoes is the one that we need less of, so yes. So first row potatoes, second row carrots. What we can also do, we don't have a lot of time left, but I think what we can maybe do is have a look at the list of all the food that we have to eat. I think we should have access to everything now. I just haven't looked at what I need to get and then made sure that I've eaten all of it. But I know some of the things that are a little bit more complicated to cook. You don't have to eat, like cake, because you have to place it down, and it doesn't. I don't think it checks the same way whether or not you've eaten it. And some of the things that we have to cook is taking care of us, because we traded cookies. I'm just going to leave that one. We traded cookies from the farmer, but I think we need. I think you can just eat cocoa beans straight. And I don't think we have cocoa beans because we don't have any jungle wood. So that's probably going to be something that we have to look at. But most of the fish from fishing we have. Most of the things you can farm we have. Actually, let me just trade this straight away. It's easier to put a few emeralds away than it is to put a few stacks of carrots and potatoes away. Okay. So what I've tried to do is put the things that have a raw and a cooked version that you can eat both at the bottom, so that I have them together, so that I know when I have all of them. Pork chop, chicken, mutton, beef. Let's just swap these around so they're together. Potatoes have the raw and the baked potato. The cod and the salmon have cooked versions, but the other ones that you're not really supposed to eat don't have cooked versions, but we have that as well. So pufferfish is one of them. I think tropical fish you can't eat, if I remember correctly. Because you can't cook it and you can't eat it. Yeah. So I specifically didn't put tropical fish in there. Nothing else that we fish can be eaten, I don't think. What we should actually do is, while we're doing this, raw cod and raw salmon. Rotten flesh we can also take, and string has a spot. We can even take the puffer fish, but we need to leave one. So I'm just going to put the puffer fish there so I don't lose it. And then I'll trade all of these guys for emeralds as well. Oh, I didn't take any of the... We will need some more puffer fish, I think, for the advancement. Puffer fish, yeah, the rest aren't edible, so... I think we had some of this stuff that we can put away. That and rotten flesh. I think we can... I'm trying to think if we... is it this guy? Oh, he doesn't have particularly good trades. So I should have probably waited until I made his prices better, but should be fine. So rotten flesh you can eat. So let's put that in there. So I think it's 38 items that you can eat. A double chest holds... Oh, actually wait, this is 27, so a double chest should be enough. I don't know why I have 2 chests. Okay, we can put that away. I just want to be sure that I don't have enough space. So we'll have to see... So I'll probably have to look how many slots need to be full, because I want to see how much I'm missing. Oh, I remember what I'm missing. Now I distinctly remember what I'm missing. I don't have melons. I have pumpkins. Cactus, beetroot. But I don't have melon. If I remember correctly, you can't eat seeds. Can't eat wheat, but you can eat bread, which I have there. Can't eat sugarcane. You can't eat kelp, but you can eat dried kelp, which I have in here. Dried kelp. I don't think you can eat sugar on its own. You can't eat pumpkin on its own either, but you can make pumpkin pie, which I have. And I've got the glycerin melons and the golden carrots here. So that's kind of, if anything, the equivalent of these. You can also eat golden apples. But I don't think that counts for this advancement. We'll also have, just like we have glycerin melon, we'll have a regular melon slice. You can't eat the whole melon. Let me. I didn't grab any of the XP, so I might as well put it on that. Did I get the XP from this guy? Nope. Okay, I think I got that one. Okay, so let's get a list. Sorry, I don't have a full screen thing because I'm doing game capture at the moment. So, so let's see. We basically need a list of the 38 items. And are these sortable? I thought this was alphabetic, but it's not. Okay. This is out of date as well because this is still referring to it as clownfish. Wow. Let us see. Okay, the official wiki should be up to date, right? Foods, alphabetical. Let's see if they list the things that are bad for you as well. So, cooked mutton, pork chop, cookie, dried kelp, enchanted. They list enchanted golden apple and golden apple. Now, I am going to have to count this to see how many items there are, to see if that's included in the 38. Let's check the advancements. They've got a what's that? Balanced diet. You know, my keyboard, certain keys are starting to stick. And it's getting so frustrating. So let's see. Eat everything that can be eaten in the game, excluding cake and milk. Here's a list of all the foods needed to get the advancement. Okay. So the main thing I'm interested in is in enchanted golden apple and golden apple. Yes, both of them are in the list. So we'll need that. Now, golden apple is fine. We can craft a golden apple. Enchanted apple, golden apple, we have to find. And I don't believe I have found one yet. I had... Yes, okay. So let me move my window here so I can see both. So let's do it in alphabetical order. Unless we... Yeah, okay. So it's apple, baked potato, beetroot, which we don't have, and then beetroot soup. Okay, so actually all these things that I don't have, I should... But that I can get, I should get. Oops, throwing the seeds away isn't going to help us get it. And do I still have some bone meal? I think I have some bone meal here. No, not that. Okay, that's fine. I'll just make a whole bunch. Probably don't need that much, but... and then we're going to get... put this serious dedication to use. Oops. It's always nighttime when we want to go out. So we might as well grab a couple of beetroots because then we can make the beetroot soup as well. We also have mushroom stew we can make, which we can make, but I don't have it in there. So I'm just going to do this because I'm lazy. Let's go beetroots and then like that. And then I want to do it with fortune. Why not? Oh, it doesn't work with beetroots anyway because it uses seeds. Okay. So I think fortune gives you more seeds, but not more beetroots, which is counterproductive. You actually want less seeds, more beetroots. Okay, that's fine. So I think just to conserve space a little bit with the chests, I'm going to put the beetroot here. Oh, I need the seeds actually. And so we need a beetroot, and I think I should have a wooden bowl somewhere in here. Nope. Well, let's make one. Well, I guess we'll make 4, not 1. We'll need the bowls for other things as well. Does it take that many beetroots? That is a terrible recipe. So there's our baked potato, beetroot, and beetroot soup. We need a suspicious stew, I believe, but we only need 1. I don't know what these are. I've looted all of these, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to move all this out of the way so I can fill it in correctly. So then there's bread, carrot, chorus fruit, cooked chicken. I guess it's going to be all the cooked things. Cooked chicken, cooked cod. Let's move all of this out of the way. So after cooked cod we have cooked mutton, cooked pork chop, cooked rabbit. So we're missing cooked rabbit and raw rabbit, I think, as well. But that should be easy enough to find. We just need to find a desert, which we have a village nearby where we can do that. So that's cooked pork chop, cooked rabbit, and then this one would be cooked salmon. So we should be able to infer what something is by the gap that it's left. So that should be fine. Then cookie. Then we have the golden apple and the enchanted golden apple. Actually, let's just make the golden apple. We had 3 regular golden apples, but we used them for curing villagers. Actually, I'm not going to eat the golden apple because I accidentally ate a golden apple when I was curing the villagers. And so I don't actually need to eat it. That's one of the things that I happen to know that I've eaten. So I need more golden apples to improve prices with them. So I'm going to skip that one. I'll just put an apple there to act as a placeholder for that one. The notch apple I do still have to eat. I haven't eaten one of those. And then we have golden carrot. And then we have dried kelp. Wait, what? Why is dried kelp after golden apple and not after cookie? It's not really alphabetical then. Okay, we'll just keep this list order. Dried kelp, and then melon slice, which we don't have, and then mushroom stew. We should be able to make, because we did grab a couple of mushrooms if I'm not mistaken. I think it's one of each of these. We don't need a suspicious stew, we just need a regular mushroom stew. which should be like that. Mainly I just want to find out what I'm missing. So dried kelp melon slice is what we're missing. And then mushroom stew. Poisonous potato, we actually have. I've been keeping the poisonous potatoes here. I haven't been eating them because that seems unwise. Mushroom stew, poisonous potato. And then the regular potato. And then the puffer fish. Then the pumpkin pie. And then the rabbit stew, which we need rabbits for. And then raw beef. Pumpkin pie, rabbit stew, raw beef, raw chicken, raw cod. Raw mutton, raw pork chop, and then the raw rabbit, which we need. So we need raw rabbit, cooked rabbit, and rabbit stew, which means we need a few rabbits. And then raw salmon, raw rabbit, raw salmon, rotten flesh, spider eye. I didn't even realize you could eat a spider eye on its own. Spider eye steak. So let's grab a spider eye. And I thought you could eat a fermented spider eye. Because a fermented spider eye has like sugar and stuff, right? Rotten flesh, spider eye. Not that I would want to eat it anyway. And then we need a suspicious stew. I'm going to put all three here below each other because I don't have another place to put them. I might as well put the beetroot. Well, no, I'm going to keep the beetroot separately. Sweet berries. Whoa, wait a second. Sweet berries, and then it says tropical fish. It says tropical fish, but you can't eat it. But glycerin melon slice you can eat it, and it's not in the list. So I suspect that that's wrong. Okay, so what we need is rabbits and a notch apple. Looks like the only thing. How much time do we have? It's 12. I can actually go to 12:30. Why not? Let's grab our bow. Let's put some of this stuff away that we ended up having an inventory now. I'll keep that with me. Keep the steak, the bone meal I don't need. What we basically want is looting with a bow. Let's make this bottom row bone meal. And have the bowl. I'm gonna just try and get a bunch of rabbit. Let's actually see, just in case I killed some rabbits at some point. No, it looks like I didn't. Okay, we have our ender chest, so we can get a bed if we need it. And let's just grab the boat because I think I put it away. Oh goodness, that reminds me I have to get rid of whatever is dark. Okay, it's almost nighttime already, so might as well sleep now. So I actually wanted to hold off on some of these, like eat everything, find all the biomes, advancements, because you might as well do that last when you've done all the risky things. But we've done most of the risky things. I think moving a ghast is still maybe a little bit risky. Fighting the wither won't be, because I'm going to cheese it. The advancements that I died trying to get in my last run through, I've done. And I guess what's still risky is the raid, and we still have to clear out Ocean Monument. We don't technically have to clear out the Ocean Monument. What we need to do is we need to kill every type of mob, so we have to kill at least one Elder Guardian. Now this Ocean Monument is quite close to where our base is, so I was going to use this one to do the final advancement with all the effects. If I do that, I need there to be at least one Elder Guardian in there, and so I don't really want to go in and kill, you know, one of them and then leave the rest, because then I'll still have mining fatigue in there. So what I'll probably do is I'll go kill some Guardians and Elder Guardians somewhere else, and then just use this nearby one. No, strangely enough, there's nothing. The only thing that there is to kill every type of mob. And it's one of the annoying ones because it doesn't show you which ones you've done. So it's adventure. So there's of the 25, the one is a Guardian and the one is an Elder Guardian. So the ones that I think I'm missing is I've killed Pillagers, but I haven't killed Evokers. I haven't killed Vindicators, and I haven't killed Ravagers, so that's 3. Guardians and Elder Guardians is another 2, and the last one is the Wither. That I haven't killed the Wither yet, so that's the 6 that I'm missing. So if I choose the Wither, it's not risky. I will have to do a raid at least twice to get all the other advancements, so to finish the raid, you'll have to kill, since it's hard mode and there's like 7 waves, you'll always get a Ravager, and you'll have to end all the waves, so you'll have to kill it. So that's guaranteed. But yeah, you do have to go out of your way to the Ocean Monument to kill those 2 to get the last one. You can get those mobs by going to, well, some of them by going to the Woodland Mansion. But you won't get Ravagers there, I don't think. I've never done a Woodland Mansion, but I'm pretty sure there's no Ravagers. There's just Evokers and oh, we actually need a couple of these anyway, these Rabbit's Feet, because we need them. Oh, actually no, we don't. We can brew the potions of jump boost with them, I think. But we can also get that jump boost from a beacon. And what I'll probably do is set up beacons for everything that I can, just to make it easier. I don't know how many pieces of, there goes one. I'll just get some of them in case I decide to get lazy and use potions. But I'll probably just set up a whole bunch of full beacons, or a whole bunch of beacons, to get all the different effects. I'll probably put at least one full beacon to get. Yeah, initially, I mean, before, to get all the advancements, you would have had to do it, right? Because to get when they added the totems, that was like the only real reliable way to get them. But even then, they weren't renewable, right? So you'd have to find a woodland mansion and get one totem, and then that was it, right? Or 2 totems or whatever. Now with raids, those totems are renewable, so it's a pretty big change. I'm actually one of the people that some people don't like when there's ways to get things renewable in Minecraft, because the argument is that if there's a way to get it renewable, like to farm it, people end up farming it and they don't go exploring, so it takes away the drive to go exploring in the game. But I don't really see it that way. I see it as like there's a way to get it by exploring and there's a way to get it by farming. So long as the way to get it by farming still involves a lot of effort, I'm fine if somebody prefers to build a base and not leave their base and farm everything there, or even to set up farms in different locations and to just move between them. If that's the way you want to play the game, I think that's fine. Especially if building that farm is much harder than it is to just go and find one or a fair amount out in the wild, right? Like, if I needed a certain amount of iron, let's say I needed a stack of iron, it's going to be easier for me to mine for iron than it is going to be to build an iron farm, right? But if I want 5 full double chests of iron, it's going to be easier for me to make a farm than to mine for it. So it kind of becomes a thing where you're deciding what you need and how you're going to get it. I think this should be enough. I don't think we need that much. We need 1 raw, 1 cooked, and whatever the stew takes. And I don't think the stew will take more than 8. The beetroot soup took like a whole bunch, like 6 or 7. But I don't think it'll take that much for the rabbit stew. That would be a completely useless food then. I am interested in going to Woodland Mansion and checking it out just to see it, because I've never seen one. They're so rare that I don't usually explore in Minecraft. I'm more of a build farms and stick to my base kind of player. So I don't explore so much, and so that's partly why I've never seen one. But as rare as they are, I mean, if we look at, I went from spawn, I got a Woodland Mansion map from a villager, and presumably it gives you the closest one. If that's the closest one, there's no way I would have explored that far to find it, especially not in hardcore, right? Maybe if I'm looking for biomes and flying around or whatever, I might have gotten that far. But then if you're just looking for biomes and you're flying around fairly fast, you might miss a lot of stuff. Now, from what I understand, the Woodland Mansions are pretty big, so you typically won't miss it if you fly over it. But a lot of the times, if you explore that far and you're looking for biomes, you don't necessarily fly over everything. You look on the horizon and you try and kind of see what biome it is, and then if it's something that you need, you'll fly to it. But I've seen I think in one of Pixel Riff's videos in the Minecraft survival guide, he covered the Woodland Mansion, and I saw some of what the rooms look like and stuff, and it's quite decent builds. I think because they made them such big builds compared to like a village. Villages have always been kind of the standard villages before the Village and Pillage update, especially. Kind of looked not built that great. There wasn't a lot of detail in it, but I understand because they in order to make them smaller, they removed a lot of the detail. But with the Woodland Mansion, because it's so much bigger, they can use the bookshelves as actual bookshelves, make the spaces bigger. They don't have to make a table with chairs in just 3 blocks, right? Let's grab. I think we probably have enough coal. Let's it's probably not an issue to just waste some at this point. So I don't know if let's see what the recipe is for rabbit stew, because I don't know if I need, I'm assuming it's cooked rabbit. Oh no, it's another one of those with a whole bunch of stuff. So we need a carrot, mushroom, and a potato. Okay. So carrot, potato, and is it a brown mushroom? Okay. Oh, it's a... Okay, let's... we need one cooked rabbit and one baked potato, so let's do that. Yeah, I also, when I get to the stronghold, if I don't have a full enchanting setup yet, which is rarely the case because I usually get that far before I go looking for the stronghold. But if you go into the library in the stronghold and you have a silk touch axe, after that you sorted, right? You just take all those bookshelves back to you. They stack, like you get 2 stacks of bookshelves. And then obviously you don't need that many bookshelves, but when you ever need books, you just break them with a regular axe, and then you're sorted. So this is rabbit stew that goes in there. So rabbit stew is that one, and then with all the cooked things, cooked rabbit goes in there. Did it use the cooked rabbit for the rabbit stew? Yes, it probably did. Now it's going to use another coal. Yep. Oh well. Okay. So the raw rabbit goes there, and the cooked rabbit I think goes in between there and there. And the rabbit stew is in there. So now what we're missing is tropical fish, which I think is a mistake. Between dried kelp and mushroom stew is melons. So we need so we need a notch apple and a melon. Oh, that is tricky. I'm not sure where. Notch apple is going to be loot, right? So we're going to have to go to nether fortresses, go through the rest of the stronghold, maybe. What else can we? Rabbit hide. What's this? Rabbit's foot. We can also drop in there. Cooked salmon we're eating. So we're pretty close. It's just melons and notch apple. If I get a notch apple, there's no reason to keep it because there's nothing that we're going to need it for. Maybe the raid, but if we get the melons, what I'll probably end up doing is I'll eat everything once I have the melon. I'll even eat the glistering melon slice. Then we know the only thing that's left is the notch apple. And then if I ever get one, I'll keep it until I do the raid. And if I use it in the raid, then I'll get that advancement. If I don't need it in the raid, when the raid's done, I'll just eat the notch apple anyway. To get the advancement. So I think that's going to be the strategy. I just wanted to make sure that I know what I needed and what was missing, and it looks like it's still just the melons. Now usually you'd get them, I guess, from villages. They don't seem to, none of the villages that I've seen, they don't plant them anymore. as far as I can tell. Pumpkins I know spawn in taiga and other biomes. And then I think melons used to as well, but I haven't seen them, at least not in this playthrough, so I don't know if that's changed or if that's just that I've had bad luck or whatever in this case. I don't know. I guess we'll have to go exploring. Maybe find some more villages. We have some fireworks, but I think we're gonna need more. We got a stack, but I wanna build up. I wanna have like 3 rows of rockets spare, kind of almost at all times. Ideally, I'd like to have like what I had before, is a shulker box full of rockets. So I normally just do this, and I tend to like try to fill that up with rockets, like duration 3 rockets. So worst case scenario, if I'm out flying, I just land, I pull out my rockets shulker box, and then I pull another 2 or 3 stacks out. I normally keep like either on the end, I keep a row of rockets, or maybe 2 stacks, and then when the 1 stack runs out, I'll switch to the other one, and then I'll keep an eye on it. So I think that's good. We didn't actually get an advancement done in this one, but we did do most of the prep for which one is it? This one, balanced diet. What we can actually do, and this is kind of pointless, but since I have it in my inventory and it's nighttime, okay, let's just make it daytime. Not that it's an issue, but just for the sake of getting an advancement every time, which we haven't been doing, but I feel it's been a lot of days since I've gotten an advancement, so just so that my stats don't fall behind. Because like I said, I see chaos is getting up to, whoopsie, I don't know why that gave me such a fright. I hate it when they burn. That's why I don't typically put flame on my sword, because then you make them burn and then they make you burn. It just ends up bad for everybody. This area might not be big enough. Let's be a little bit smarter about this. We have like 9 minutes left, so actually not. Actually, I'm half an hour over. But to be honest, I don't think I've ever not been over. I'm supposed to start at 10 and finish at 12. I usually start at 9:30 and I usually finish at 12:30. So I almost always end up with a 3-hour stream instead of my 2-hour. Which is not great for my tiredness factor, but okay. So there's some water somewhere here, so I don't want to get too close to the water. This is the most pointless advancement, but okay. It's an advancement, it counts. I'm doing it. You can see I've cleared the grass here for something else that I was doing before. So this is a good spot. Pick up these eggs when they're around, because I don't know how. Yeah, like I said before, I'm not necessarily trying to get everything done as quickly as possible, and so in some cases I might do something which is like the long way around. So I haven't completely ruled out making a wither skeleton farm. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know if I have that much patience. But after I do, if I finish the challenge, if I get 100% completion, I'm not gonna necessarily like stop using the world. I'll probably continue to play on this and try and do some of the harder farms. So I want to make my plan was actually to make the gold farm and the wither skeleton farm and some of those things after I finish all the advancements, but I might actually make some of that before. Mainly because I want to have all the beacons for the final advancement, and having that gold farm is going to make that a lot easier. In my previous world, I decided not to do that. Well, actually, I was still considering doing it, but I didn't need to do it because I had a combination of villagers that gave me plenty of emeralds. Like I made my first full beacon out of emeralds. I didn't even bother with iron. But what I did notice is that when I made that beacon, the advancement didn't tick over for me. So I don't know if maybe the advancement checks specifically for iron or gold or diamonds or something, but it didn't register on emeralds. So that could have been a bug. It could have been something like a early advancement that I didn't get. It's 1561, so we're halfway now. Yeah, a diamond hoe is pointless. You never need anything more than a stone hoe. Actually, a stone hoe is a little bit it runs out a little bit fast. But an iron hoe is fine. I wouldn't bother with diamonds. Usually if you have a bigger open area, you don't have to do this running around trying to find the empty spots. You can just run up and down in straight lines. But that doesn't work here because of all the grass. It would be easier if the water flushed the farmland and turned it back into soil. What I've noticed, what you can also do, is you can set up a little machine that breaks the block, an observer that just breaks the block with a piston, and then you can hold dirt or something in your offhand and till the soil, which causes a block update. Or sorry, hold the block in your offhand, hold right click, it'll place a block, which will break it, and then you can, there's a way to set it up so that it, like, you till the block and then it breaks, and then you can just stand in one spot and do it. But ultimately, like, you're still waiting for the block tick update and the piston to fire and everything. So if you have a big open space, this will get it done almost as quickly with much less preparation time. I was actually just going to use the hoe to till the fields every time, because I was under the impression that when you flush farmland, that it turns back to dirt. So I made the hoe and put it by my farm, and then when I flushed it the first time, I realized it doesn't turn farmland back into dirt. It stays farmland, and it stays irrigated and everything. So the only time I actually ended up using the hoe was when I jump on a block and I have to fix it, and there's no way I'm going to do that 1,500 times. So probably the quickest way is to go like that, but then actually, if you use the wrong tool for something, it uses double durability. And I don't know, so let's see, this is 339. If I break grass, oh no. Okay, so this is one of the tools that works correctly. If you break something that breaks with your hand, with a tool, it's not supposed to take durability damage. right? That's standard game mechanics. That's supposed to work like that. One of the most common cases of me doing that, though, is me breaking leaves, which leaves break with your hand, right? If I have an empty hand here and I break leaves, right? I can break it. I don't need a tool to break it. But if I do it with something else, so look, this is now 339. Oh. Leaves work with that, that's weird. I tend to break leaves with an axe, and then the axe takes double durability, like it's the wrong tool. Unless they fix that. Or maybe I'm thinking about something else, like a mattock or something from modded. Which could be, if they treat a mattock like a shovel, maybe that considers it to be the wrong tool. I've also had this advancement not work, where I break the hoe and it doesn't register. So let me just make sure that this, whatever the prerequisite for that is done. Because the only thing that I can think is if you haven't done that one, then that one might not register. But I've definitely done it, so it should register. That was also my last playthrough, so for some reason something with the advancements didn't register correctly. It was quite annoying. Should be getting close now. I can just imagine if you accidentally make the hoe for this advancement and you mistakenly enchant it and then it has Unbreaking 3 on it, and you had to do this with Unbreaking 3 on it as well. Well, I guess you wouldn't have to. Now that there's the grindstone, you could just remove the enchantment. But yes, okay, so at least we did one advancement. It was a stupid advancement that we could do at any time, so it wasn't really progress, but our numbers have gone up, and everybody knows numbers is everything. Oh, this thing's been running actually, but okay, it's not. I haven't been AFKing, so it hasn't given me that much. This outside farm still probably gives a lot more than that. But that's just, it's just 7 sugarcane, so it's not, it's just the start of a farm really. Let's put this away because I somehow picked this up, and flowers as well. And eggs, I'm gonna need a lot, I think I'm gonna need a lot more eggs to make wither roses at some point. Oh, one of the drowned dropped a thing. Oh, there we could hear that farm going. Okay, let's just sort out our inventory, and then I think that's going to be the end of the stream. We can put all these things away. Grindstone. I don't want to. So let's just, I want to check something. I definitely can't eat the tropical fish like this. Oh, I can. Oh, I couldn't eat it before because I was full, maybe. Okay, so the glistering watermelon is not included then in the list, which is odd. Then I'm actually going to trade this with him. While he has trades available, might as well. Forgot that I put all these over here for trading. It's another 36. The main thing that we needed this for was mending books, and we're pretty much good on mending books now. That one has infinity. Mending. This still needs mending, and probably smite 5. But I think I'll probably do some AFK fishing to get this silk touch picked back up to decent shape. And I'll melt these golden boots at some point as well. Okay, great. I think that's going to be it. Oops, that's not right. That's right. Thanks for catching the stream, Nitro. Feels good to make some progress. Next time I think we'll either go looking for those melons just so I can clear that advancement out as well. I also will probably start, now that we've got the passage to the nether portal kind of set up, I'll probably do build a passageway to like 1,000 blocks out in the nether just to get that advancement out of the way as well. Partially I want to go like south, which I haven't explored south. I've explored north, east and west. So I'll make it out to the south, and then when we need to go exploring later to find all the biomes, what I'll probably do is start there, and then it'll be all new chunks. So I might do that. If I do go through there, I might go looking for a village on that side as well, and just see if I can find melons there. Oh, sorry, that one of your things got blocked because you used the word hoe, which happens on Twitch, unfortunately. Yes, he got one. I didn't have it before. I was tier 1 sub, and I didn't have it. But when coincidentally, I don't know if it had anything to do with it, but when I subbed at tier 2, I got it. So I don't know if that did anything, or if it was just updated my subscription. So yeah, I don't think it's meant to be tier 2. I think tier 1. So what you can normally do is you can add a tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 sub emote right from the get-go, and then as you unlock more, you get more for each of the tiers. But I think he only has the one, and it's at tier 1 level, so everybody should have it. Great. So yeah, I'll probably catch his stream again tomorrow. I think he's going to stream soon, isn't he? He streams in about 25 minutes or so. Sometimes if I stream late, I can catch him on, and then actually usually it's right after I go to bed that he starts streaming. So at some point I might try to extend my stream to go into the start of his stream so that I can raid him. But yeah, we'll do it again tomorrow. What I've been trying to, been playing another game, Legends of Aria, and I've been trying to like play both. So I'm going to alternate. So I might play Legends of Aria again tomorrow, and then I'll do Minecraft the day after that, because on Mondays I don't get any viewers on Minecraft because everybody's watching Minecraft Monday. So on Monday I did Legends of Aria, and I had my highest viewership of any stream ever. So I'm going to alternate them at least for a little while. I'll see if it runs dry after a while. I might stop streaming that and just play it in the background. But for now I'm just going to switch between the two. But I don't want to abandon this. I don't want to switch over. I want to definitely finish this challenge, and even after I finish this challenge, I want to keep playing in this world. I'm also chatting to Chaos about possibly doing a series together, but he's got a lot of stuff going on at the moment with the realms and with other stuff. So if we do that, that'll be much later down the line. Oh, hey Mana Pro. Sorry, you're just coming right at the end of the stream. It's unfortunate, but it's good to have you. Sorry, it's quite late for me. It's almost 1 AM here, so I'm supposed to end my stream at 12. But I appreciate you stopping by. Oh, it's bad timing. Yeah, I know you usually show up like close to the end of the stream because I think it overlaps for you. You're in the US. So, how's your run going? I believe you were close to. I think I heard you were close to the end, and then you started over. I think you were. I think you just had the channeling advancement left. Yeah, you need the storm, the one that everybody waits for. Oh, it was spooky. That's right. Spooky was like he just had the storm and he got tired of waiting and he started over. Do you have the how did we get here one? Which I mean that's really the only proper hard one. Yeah. Well, good luck. I know. Luckily, with that advancement, you tend not to die doing it. It's just frustrating to get it right. So if that's the only one you have left, you usually have a good chance of getting it done. What I've seen happen a couple of times is people die to other things before they finish that one. So I've seen people like die to the wither, die to other things that are kind of related to it, but not necessarily. So like Matrixus was trying to get a wither rose from the wither to do that, and then he died to the wither. Oh, cool. I must check out you stream on Mixer as well, don't you? I feel like I've seen you. On Mixer for some reason. No, you only Twitch. I must be thinking about somebody else. Maybe it's your Twitch Prime that always looks like the Mixer color, so I get confused. But yeah, I need to follow you because I don't think I'm followed you. I don't know if I can do it from here. Can I do it from here? Nope. But I can do it from here. So I don't know what time you stream. Chances are I won't be able to catch your streams because of time zones. Let me just make sure this is muted. I can't follow you from Streamlabs OBS. I have to go here. So many clicks. There we go. Yeah, because I'm going to forget to do it because when I end my stream it's nighttime, and yeah, right after this I go to bed, and then I don't really get to do anything. But yeah, thanks for stopping in, and hopefully I'll catch you on one of your streams. Good luck for that advancement when you get to it, and hopefully one of these days you don't have to go to school or something and you can catch a stream. I appreciate you guys coming in to hang out, especially the people on Mixer. I know it's sometimes tricky because not all the stuff is available on Mixer, but yeah, I really appreciate it, and I'll stream again tomorrow. But like I said, if you're interested in Minecraft, that'll be on Thursday again because I might have a different game tomorrow. But best bet is to turn the notifications on. I think Twitch lets you know which game it is so that you can decide whether or not you're interested. So that's probably your best bet. Thanks for stopping by, everybody, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks. Cheers.